That night, under the watchful eye of the mythic Mount Katahdin, I slept wonderfully. And I woke the next morning to its beauty and stared at it for a while before I packed up and began walking. I had decided long ago, even I think before I began the trail, that I would end the trail the way I began it, alone. I knew I'd want the time to be able to reflect on some of the lessons I've learned and the experiences I've had, and I really needed that time alone. So I told the guys the night before that I was going to get up really early because it was going to be a long day. It's 10 miles to get to the base of Mount Katahdin, and then it's 5 miles up, and then 5 miles back down. But those 5 miles up Mount Katahdin are some of the most difficult miles on the entire Appalachian Trail. So most people actually just go 10 miles to the base, stay there for one night, and go up Mount Katahdin the following day. And that's what the guys thought they were going to do. And I was ready to summit. I knew it was time for me. And I also didn't want to deal with the rain the following day, which still looked like it was in the forecast. So I did decide to push forward, and I arrived at the base of Mount Katahdin and went to the station here, the ranger station, where I got my number. I was hiker number 448. Those 10 miles to get to the base were blessedly extremely flat and easy, and I made record time. I never went as fast as I did there. I got those 10 miles done in 3 hours, and so I arrived at the base of Mount Katahdin around, well, I guess it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and this is the start of Mount Katahdin, and it starts off beautifully and very easy. And for the first 2 or 3 miles, it seems very simple, but it lulls you into a false sense because it gets very difficult very quickly. On the Camino back in 2013, I met two Irish women early in the trip, and we hit it off right away and were talking, and they told me the story of a local who, on their first day, told them this theory about the trail. And he said the Camino is like an entire lifetime. As you start that first day and go over the mountains from France into Spain, you're born as a pilgrim. And you must go through childhood, young adulthood, old age, and finally death when you get to the end, when you get to Santiago de Compostela, which is the end point of the Camino. And I've always had that in my head as I've been walking to the AT, and I realize it more and more, as I look back, that's exactly what has happened here. When I started in Georgia, I was a child, and everything was new, and I was scared sometimes, and I moved into young adulthood and made friends and built this family. And in adulthood, I kind of separated from them a little bit and traveled alone a lot, met new friends. But as it came to an end, I was wrapping it up and kind of going back to those people early on in my life. It was fascinating how it really does mirror a life. And now as I walk to my death as a pilgrim, I'm thinking of all the things that I've learned and what I want to take away. And I think the one thing, based on this theory, that I most want to do is I most want to live my life to its fullest. I realize that life is finite and that we really don't have a second chance. So we have to do all those things we want right away. About noon, I started running into friends and fellow hikers who were coming down the mountain as I was going up, and I used it as an opportunity to think about all the people I met along the way, whether I knew them for a moment or a week or a month, whether they gave me trail magic or were a part of my trail family. Everybody, I believe, in some way came into my life for a reason, and I never want to forget them. also thinking about how I've been transformed. I know I'm changed. I'm not certain how, and I think it'll take months and years to uncover all the things and ways that this trail and this experience has changed me. But one thing I know I've learned along the way is that there is magic and there are miracles everywhere. We've just forgotten how to see them. And all we need to do is open our eyes, our minds and our hearts, and it's all there waiting for us. And as I come to the end of this amazing adventure and look back on how far I've come and what I've been able to accomplish, as I take these final steps to the final peak in the clouds, I look back and I realize just how blessed I've been.